This is The Gorge. It's a podcast where my friend Sara and I gorge ourselves on analyzing a topic. We are brought to you by Coffee. That's ko-fi.com/thegor. And Sara, what are we talking about tonight?
Tonight, we are having a unique melange of good things and okay things and terrible things. Because we're going to talk more Devil May Cry, which is basically good things, okay things, and terrible things. It's also a summary of the previous trilogy. So that worked out perfectly, actually. We're talking about more Devil May Cry because we didn't have time to talk about 4 in the last episode, and we reluctantly...
Even though we did it for 3 hours of podcasting, we couldn't get to 4.
Yeah, and we reluctantly consumed Devil May Cry.
Yeah, that was 2 days ago we did our Let's Watch of it.
It still haunts me. I'm still seeing the fedora in my nightmares.
Isn't it a shame that the fedora is not the worst thing?
Yeah, God, if the fedora was the worst part of DMC, it would still be pretty bad.
Yeah.
I can't even come up with a good excuse for it. So, yeah, it was bad. And then we're gonna talk about DMC 5 a little bit. Not much.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a fun little thing from the subreddit. We're gonna do that.
Yeah, yay!
Something good after all these heaping helpings of shit.
And DMC4 is on everything. It's
it's on everything. If you can't play DMC4, I'm sorry. It's on every console.
Yeah.
It's on PC, it's on PS3, it's on PS4, it's on Xboxes, yeah.
Yeah, it's on everything, that's all. Yeah.
That's what's important.
I feel really bad for Devil May Cry 4.
Me too. Devil May Cry 4 got a little cursed. A little fucked.
It's, we were talking about how we were playing it, and, it's amazing how, all of its problem, the reason Devil May Cry is bad is not because of anything it does bad mechanically, like DMC 2,
Right.
It's not that, it's not there's not a gameplay mechanic or a new gimmick that ruins it.
Right.
Other games we kind of talked about that are where the sequel is not as good, but it's just it's the utter lack of content in Devil May Cry 4 is what hurts it.
It is incredibly shallow. Just even the mechanics are not that deep. They are functional and fine. Nero gets a lot of crap for being baby's first DMC protag, but I think if you get used to the system, he has more depth than you initially think going into it, but it's still not that deep, if you will, especially Dante and the special edition characters. None of them have a lot of mechanical depth. Dante is really, really probably gets it the worst because he's a main playable character, but from his moveset to the weapons he gets to his styles, style switcher, it all feels really limited compared to his, and DMC 3 doesn't have style switcher. You have to pick your styles at the beginning of the level.
Yeah,
but it still somehow feels more limited.
Yeah, you have to hit the divinity statues to switch your style.
Yeah.
And it's which sucks because what is in Devil May Cry 4 is really good.
Yeah, the base of DMC 4 is incredibly good, and I guess I should say is a prelude is I do think you should play DMC 4. It is absolutely the second best game in the series.
Yeah.
It's just that the first best game in the series is probably a modern masterpiece. That's a huge problem.
It's kind of how we talked, it reminds me a lot of how, we talked about how, Persona 5 is good.
Right.
But Persona 4 is near perfect.
Yeah, Persona 4 came before Persona 5, and that's the problem, is that Devil May Cry 4 its prequel is DMC 3, which is one of the greatest, maybe the greatest character action game ever made.
Yeah.
Which is a problem.
Which is it's a bit of a problem because
problem, yeah.
You want the escalation. You want the escalation in your sequels. You want the next one to be bigger and better and have more to do.
Right.
And unfortunately, Devil May Cry 4 just got hit really, really hard with that rush it out the door. No, put it out now.
And put it on multiple consoles. They kind of dropped a. Originally, it was just going to be for PS3, but then Capcom was like, no, we need to sell it to more people. So, out of nowhere, they were like, hey, you also got to make it work on Xbox. So, that didn't help either. It cut into development time, and ultimately, I don't know the exact amount, but I do know that out of the blue one day, Capcom kind of dropped on Itsuno, like, hey, we're drastically slashing development time for Devil May Cry 4, so you have way less time to get this game out the door than you anticipated. So there's a lot of really ambitious ideas in plot and gameplay that never come to fruition.
They don't reach their potential because it really sucks because Devil May Cry is a great series that's just been constantly plagued by development issues. Like DMC1 is a game. DMC1 is a game that exists because it tried to be Resident Evil, and it was the first foray into the genre. So it's got its misses with that, Devil May Cry 2 was developed by a completely different team, and Itsuno had to come in at the last minute to kind of put something together.
Yep.
And DMC4 was just utterly slashed time wise and budget wise.
Yeah.
And the only one that actually had a good development time was 3 and now 5.
And now 5. 5 feels like everything we're hearing. 5 feels like another apology to Hideaki Itsuno, which is hey, sorry we didn't let you make your dream game, which is Dragon's Dogma. Hideaki Itsuno is the project director for Dragon's Dogma, which is Capcom's Dark Souls but not game. And it's his baby, and they again really screwed him over with that development too. So the game is also hilariously unfinished.
Oh, it's super unfinished.
Yeah, and it's really tragic. And so, Itsuno says this is probably his last Devil May Cry, and I only assume that's because once he makes DMC, and hopefully if 5 is a hit, Capcom will just let him make Dragon's Dogma 2 into the game he wants it to be, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'd be sad to see him leave Devil May Cry, but he's done. He made the greatest character action game ever, so, I think he's allowed to make his weird niche RPG weird thing game. Yeah, so it's fine. So yeah, 5 has been in development for 4 years, which is excellent news.
Good news.
It's sitting at 75%, so hopefully it'll be amazing.
Yeah.
We'll see. Gamescom is in 2 weeks, so...
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Get hype. But in the meantime, we're here to talk about Devil May Cry 4.
Devil May Cry 4, which is, it's good, and I like Nero a lot more than I anticipated I would.
Yeah.
I thought Nero would be... I mean, let's be real. Nero and Kyrie look like Final Fantasy characters.
They do. It's fine.
They 100% like if you watch the opening cutscene of 4 and you didn't know what Devil May Cry was, you would think it was a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, what is this Final Fantasy nonsense with a girl singing in an opera and a pretty white-haired kid,
with a kind of a Japanese RPG punk style look to him.
Yeah,
he's got big headphones. He's got a demon arm.
Yep, way too complex clothes.
Mm-hmm.
It is very Final Fantasy looking, and so you look at it and you're like, what is this?
And they're in this big ornate city, this Vatican style city.
Don't get me started on how much I love Fortuna, even if it is comically underutilized. Because it's really cool looking.
Yeah.
It's just oh no, you forgot that's what I like Devil May Cry for. Oh no, I don't care about being in some fucking forest. Man, the forest is a cool idea, because when you first go to the forest, you're like, oh, this is really different from what I'm used to with the Devil May Cry game. And then I got back to Fortuna at the end of the game as Dante, and I was like, wait a second, I like this a lot more.
Yeah, I wish it had stayed entirely in Fortuna.
Yeah.
Because, like, you get to the castle, and it's like, oh, I don't like this as much.
Yeah, it feels, like if Devil May Cry 1 was less. You know?
If it was less.
If it was just less. And then you go back to Fortuna as Dante, and you get to see the streets a little bit more, and it feels like a really cool... Like, it could have been a cool, unique setting. It would have been like DMC2, but more. Because it's set, like, in a city, and city streets, and all that goodness, and, like, you could just see a game with the same, like, plot beats, kind of, but it's all set in this weird, elaborate cult city, and you could be like, why are all these weird puzzle mechanics here? Oh, it's because everybody here is a weird, crazy cultist, so, it's fine. It's, like, par for the course.
Yeah,
and nobody would blink an eyelash about it. But, we didn't get that. It's fine.
And it's funny because, like, the intro is so Final Fantasy, like, it's completely shot like a Final Fantasy intro, and then Dante shows up.
And murks some old guy,
and then
it's iconic.
And then you get to hear Nero talk,
and it's Johnny Young Bosch,
and you're just, it's Devil May Cry.
Oh, bless. One of the best parts in DMC4 is the bit where Nero 2-foot boots Dante, like, directly in his perfect face. It's great.
that first, like, that intro bit where it's like the cutscene of Nero versus Dante.
Yeah.
Is great for so many moments. For Dante making fun of Nero revving his sword
and trying to rev rebellion. Yeah,
he's because Nero's like, what's the point of that big sword if you aren't going to use it? So Dante just stabs it in the ground and, like, mimes revving it, and it's
it's so good.
The bit where Dante smashes him through into the chest of the statue.
Yes.
And Nero pinballs between the sword and the statue.
The bit where they both take turns sitting on top of, like, a stack of pews.
Yeah!
And talking shit to each other. That whole bit in that cutscene is amazing. And of course Dante getting narked by his own sword.
Oh, of course. He gets stabbed by his own sword, as is tradition at this point.
Of course. And Nero, full body lobs it too.
Yeah, and then but it's the best one because he makes that face.
Yeah, like, and he's just like when he gets when he gets down from being pinned to the statue, he's just standing there with, like, a sword through his midsection. He's like, he looks so annoyed by it, just like, seriously, again.
It's par for the course at this point. He's
used to it.
He's got to be, what, like 40 now? He's used to it.
He's like 38, 40 years old, and he's been stabbed by either his own sword or other people's swords. I think at this point I watched a YouTube video where somebody had a running count of the times Dante's been stabbed, not by his own sword, but just in general. And it's like by Devil May Cry 4, by that first cutscene, it's 10 times.
God.
Yeah. And that's not including the fact that, the bit in DMC3 where all of the he gets stabbed by the scythes all at once. Mm-hmm. That counts in the counters just one stabbing. So really, it's more than that. But
way more than that. Yeah,
it's fine. But yeah, no, it's ridiculous. It's awesome.
I love it, and that's your first indication. Like, oh no, this is what Nero is. Nero is great.
Nero is great. Nero. When the game first came out, because I remember the initial hype train and then the crushing disappointment of Devil May Cry 4, because I've cared about Devil May Cry, literally since it came out, so I always follow its releases. I remember when it came out, and everybody's just like, oh no, and people weren't that rosy on Nero.
Well, he's Raiden.
He's Raiden. He had the unfortunate position of being Raiden.
Yeah.
Like Raiden, he has gotten significantly cooler in people's eyes as the years have gone by, as we realize, he's actually a good kid.
Yeah, it took some time to realize that, Raiden's actually cool, and Nero's actually cool.
Nero tells the final boss to go blow himself, and really that's all you need to know about why Nero is great. Because Nero is great. He doesn't get a lot in terms of development, because Capcom was like, no, you gotta put Dante in it, and it's like, you really didn't need to put Dante in it. You actually probably could have just made Dante a DLC character.
Mm-hmm.
The game should have just been entirely Nero. The fact that it had to be 2 games, basically, is what hurts it the most.
Yeah.
Because Nero's story kind of has this building momentum by Mission 12, and it's kind of, you're like, oh, cool, we're hurtling towards some kind of conclusion, and the stakes are raising, and Nero's, he had his character development moment where Dante's like, chill the fuck out. And then it just kind of stops, so you can play as Dante again.
Yeah, so you can do the same levels over as Dante.
But just backwards, for like 9 missions, and it's not fun. And so if the game had just been Nero for 20 missions, and Dante was just a side character, and then you got like DLC showing what Dante was up to while Nero was running around Fortuna, that would have been great. It's not what we got, however, unfortunately.
No, unfortunately.
Oh, well, missteps. Capcom. Oh, Capcom. Will you please stop meddling in my favorite franchise? One of my favorite franchises, please.
But no, it's people were justifiably, hesitant on Nero at first, because, he's, this young kid who is more of the pretty boy than Dante is.
Yeah.
And it's we've been down this path before.
Yeah, and he's way more brash and loudmouth than Dante is, but, every aspect of Nero, in retrospect, is incredibly cool.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
The Red Queen is, don't at me, the Red Queen is the coolest sword in the series.
It's a really cool sword!
It is cooler than Alistair, it's cooler than Rebellion, it's even cooler than Yamato, which is really saying something. But just as like a
he revs
sword,
it!
You rev it!
You rev it and it gets really hot and you can swing it faster and it's cool!
And it makes like a vroom vroom noise.
Yeah!
And it's like got a motorcycle throttle in your sword, and you rev it and it gets hot, and when you hit things there's like a burst of fire and there are cool sparks. Come on!
And
you have to be
EX.
dead inside. Yeah, it's called EX, and there's a bunch of dumb names associated with those skills, and it's great. You have to be dead inside to not love it. It is such a it speaks directly to the 12-year-old in you who loves dumb cool shit, and you should just embrace it.
The Red Queen and the Blue Rose being a double-barreled magnum
that fires 2 bullets at the same time.
That's quintessential Devil May Cry. That's just
it's so stupid and so cool.
It's such distilled Devil May Cry. And I'll have more to say about this when we get into DMC because it's comparative to another point. But it's really cool. And
it just the Red Queen has an awesome design because it's swoopier than
it's a single blade compared to the broadsword that is Rebellion.
Yeah, and so it has a cool swoopiness to it, and it has the big chunky handguard, and it just has such a nice look. And then you look at the box art for DMC 5, and it's front and center, and it just looks so awesome. It just looks so dope.
And I think the blue rose is cooler than ebony and ivory because it's just this.
Oh, that's awesome blasphemy! I don't know.
Big awesome revolver with 2 barrels though, and he can charge it with magic energy and shoots guard break bullets. And it's
cool. It's because it's big, and big revolvers are always, I don't know.
Well,
big anime revolvers.
When I think of revolvers, what I think was the coolest one is the one actually in Killer 7.
Hold on, I've never seen it. I'm going to Google it while you talk.
It's so big that I've never even played Killer 7, but like I've seen video of it, and it's just the protagonist. It's such a big revolver. The protagonist can sling it over his shoulder.
Hold on.
And I'm like,
oh yeah, oh man, that is radical. Okay,
like, that's
cool.
So cool because it's really big.
It's big. I always think of when I think of the revolver. When I think of cool revolvers, the one that instantly comes to mind is Tokusa's from Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah. Well, of course, obviously. I mean,
I know.
Come on, Togus is cool because he uses that revolver, and it's cool because it's a revolver in a future
setting, and he's got it. It's just your standard 6-shot revolver, and it's a Sebero, and all of those Sebero branded guns that you can buy in like model kits are all just the coolest, chunkiest things, and yeah.
Everyone's like, Tokusa, why do you use that old-fashioned gun? And he's like, never jams, bitch.
Never jams, and it never does. It's so cool.
No. So cool.
And yeah, like fictional revolvers, Vash the Stampede's guns.
Well, and also, fucking Nero can reload it like a badass.
Oh my god.
He can just flip the I don't even know what it's called. It's not a clip.
The chamber.
Yeah, the chamber. You can just flip the chamber, and you can just swing the revolver and load all 6 bullets at once, and it's really cool.
It looks awesome. It just looks awesome, because that is the whole point of Devil May Cry, is everything is just stupid and cool, and everything in Nero's like arsenal is exactly that. It is both nonsensical because it's a sword that you rev with the handle, and it's a 2-shot double barrel revolver. And that doesn't make any sense, but you know what? It rules.
And the coolest thing about Red Queen is that it's not like a signature weapon for Nero. It's just the standard conventional weapon for the Knights of Sparta.
It just looks better. Like Credo has one. And
Credo has one, and like the generic soldiers have one, because that's what Nero uses in the first fight.
Yeah,
he just grabs some guy's sword because then Kyrie comes in with his actual Red Queen.
Oh, I know, and it's just that the Red Queen is just like a specialized version of it.
Yeah, it's just his custom version of it,
and
and she longs for his touch.
Yes. Ascribing human emotions to swords. I don't know, something about it. I'm always just like, oh, that's so romantic. And I don't mean like in the two people in love kind of way. I mean like in the old fashioned,
like the old like adventure
romance. Yeah, you ascribe human feelings to your weapons. It longs for your touch. So great. I don't know.
So
I'm just a big dumb gross sap for that kind of thing, and everything just. Man, Nero's good. Nero's a good kid. Damn it, he's a sweetheart.
He is. He's super sweet on Kyrie, and it's great because like you've never had a character like Kyrie until 4.
And she's, bless Kyrie, she just isn't allowed to have a personality because they didn't have time to write her one.
Yeah, that's the biggest disappointment, is that like Kyrie is great for what we see of her, but we just don't see her a lot.
She's just not in the game a lot, and she doesn't really get to do anything. She's got a big booty, and she's cute, so it's fine.
It's fine. She'll be better in 5.
She'll be better in 5 if she gets to be in 5. Hey, Itsuno, what do you mean you can't tell us what's going on with her? I know she's not dead, because, then Nero wouldn't be fun.
Yeah.
I've had many, this is like a side thing. I've had many arguments with people on the subreddit about like, well, Kyrie said, no, she's not, because then Nero wouldn't be fun, and the whole point of Devil May Cry is that it's fun even when you're kind of sad.
Yeah, like even in 4 when Kyrie gets kidnapped, it just motivates Nero further. Like he's not like he's way angrier and he's way more impatient when Kyrie gets kidnapped.
Yeah, he's not doing his wisecracking bullshit until Dante has got to be like, hey, you need to chill the hell out, So, like, and we know it's not like, oh, well, she died really early on, and like, it's been years and he's gotten over it. It's like, no, because we saw Nero get his arm ripped off, and he looked like he does in 5. And he mentions her name,
so like, it had to have happened recently.
So she's fine.
She's gonna be fine.
Just being a jerk.
Besides, Devil May Cry isn't really the kind of series that would just randomly kill off a character like that unless it had like a purpose.
Devil May Cry doesn't really fridge characters. They just don't mention them again. There's a difference.
I mean, like the only one they really fridged is like Virgil, and he keeps showing up anyway.
I've never thought about it like that before.
Virgil died in canonically the first game in the timeline, right? Yeah. And then he shows up in 2 more. And he's showing up in 5.
I've never thought about it like that, but technically Virgil did get fridged because he's like an important character who got killed off to further the main character's like inner sadness.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my god, Virgil got fridged!
But it doesn't matter, because he's still in the game all the time anyway.
God, you can't get... Like, listen, they can't even kill off Wesker in Resident Evil, okay? Like, it took them forever to get rid of that.
It took them 5 games to kill Wesker. And even then in 6, it's like, well, guess what? Here's Wesker Jr.
And it's like an if in 8... If Wesker showed up, would anyone be surprised?
No one would be surprised.
No,
Get real.
Nobody would be surprised because it's Capcom. Capcom's characters, the characters they do kill off, keep showing up in Ace Attorney anyways because that's like a mechanic, is that people come back from the dead kind of on the reg in Ace Attorney. So it's fine.
It's not gonna happen. She's too cute to die. So I'll get into it with the predictions, but
yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, but no, Kirie's too cute to die.
And because Itsuno also said, I feel like I treat everything Itsuno says like word of God, but listen, I would die for that man. He's like way nicer than Kamiya. So I would take a bullet for Hideaki Itsuno. So it's fine. And plus he was like really funny at E3 for the few seconds he got to talk. Anyway, yeah, but he said at some point in some interview that if Kyrie died, that Nero would become more like Virgil, aka insufferable. So, that's not gonna happen. You know, he would be fun, and that's the point of Nero. So whatever, she's fine.
It's fine, yeah. But the point is it's nice. It's cool to have like a character like her
who's
because
just kind of like a nice chick.
She's so different from everyone else who is a hardcore action character, you know?
And that's everybody. It's not just that she's different from the other girls. It's that she's different from literally everybody.
Literally, even every character in 4, compared to Credo and Agnes and everyone. She's just a sweetheart.
She's just kind of boy, I'd really just like to hang out with Nero, but all this dumb shit keeps happening. Oh, God, bless her heart. I just wish that, again, we didn't get a lot of time to get development for anybody who wasn't Nero. Because, Credo, Justice for Credo 2K18.
Yeah.
That's my motto going out of this year. I'm going to put it on a t-shirt. Justice for Credo and his baller-ass boss fight.
It's such a shame we only get to fight him once.
And you don't even fight him again in the boss rush.
I know.
What the fuck? Are you serious? You couldn't even stick him in the boss rush when it made sense for us to fight him again?
The Credo fight's so good. It's almost on par with Virgil 3, for real.
It is so good. It's absurd how good the Credo fight is. And it just never happens again. Could you imagine if there was a legitimate Credo 2 the way there is a Virgil 3? If you got a final climactic rival fight between Nero and Credo, and Credo's added more attacks and stuff to his repertoire, and he has a second weapon now too, or something.
Yeah.
So you have to deal with the fact that Credo can swap between weapons and maybe has a second form to his monster form or something, or he has he stays in his human form and he's just stupid fast and he can change to his angel form. That would be the most intense thing ever.
I wanted to see a clash of Red Queens, because Credo has the same sword Nero does, and
right?
They could have clashed, and it would have been cool, and he could have revved his too.
They could have both revved their swords as a hey, let's get serious kind of moment.
Yeah,
man. Whatever. It could have been amazing, but we only get one.
It's still so good, though. Credo fight's so fucking good.
It's so good. Just the call and response, the learning his attack patterns, the fact that he's just, like, really fast and aggressive. Oh, it's great. And the setting itself is, there's something kind of nice in its simplicity. Because Nero's like, come on, man, I don't want to do this. Yeah!
Like this, because like that's when like Credo finds out Nero's a demon, and he's like, I gotta slay you, and he's like, come on, man, come on.
You're like, my girlfriend's big brother. I really don't want to fight you because
don't make me do this, man.
Yeah, it's like there's that even for what little development poor Credo was afforded. There's just enough tension between those characters that the fight feels impactful, which is important. That's why all of the Virgil duels are so good in 3.
Well, it's also like it's coming right away with the minute you meet Credo, and it's like, he's your girlfriend's stern older brother.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like the most, other than Nero, he's like the most advanced swordsman in the Order of the Sword.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's so obvious that this rival fight is coming.
Oh, I'm gonna fight you. It's gonna be great, and it is great. It's great.
But it's only one time, and you spend the whole time going, "What? What happened? Where's the other two? Where'd they go?
There need to be more fight."
More fight where? More, and then he just dies at the beginning of Dante's campaign, and you're like,
No,
my fights!
Come back and fight me again. Yeah, I'm not sad you died because you're an interesting character. I'm sad you died because I don't get to fight you again.
Come back here, you coward, and fight me! Yeah, man. So, like, okay, I guess one single character in all of Capcom games died, and he took a radical ass boss fight with him, and it's bullshit.
But that doesn't even count because Credo was still barely a character in the first place. Whatever. That's like getting mad that Agnes died.
I'm a little sore that Agnes died just because Agnes is amazing. But, it's fine. It's fine. I'm really more sore that there isn't like, okay, fine, whatever, Gloria's Trish. It makes no sense, but whatever. But we don't even get to fight like Trish as Gloria. Like,
she doesn't even do anything, really.
She doesn't do anything. She makes innuendos at Nero, which is weird. And then she says she's gonna take care of Dante, and then literally as soon as her and Dante run into each other, there's not even like any like tension of like, oh, maybe they don't know each other, As soon as they're on screen together, Trish is like, ha, surprise, I was in a
and then she drops the disguise.
What was the point of the disguise then, Trish?
I don't know. I don't understand because later on, like, what is the Pope's name? I forgot his name.
The Pope. No, I like the Pope. Sanctus. His name is Sanctus.
Sanctus is like, he sees Trish and he's like, oh, Gloria, and so it's like,
no.
Why did you even wear why did you disguise yourself, considering like no one knows what Trish looks like in the first place?
Well, no, we had a long conversation about this. This is an order that reveres Sparta. There's probably a creepy statue of Ava somewhere in Fortuna.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're totally right.
Yeah.
You're totally right. The reason she's in disguise is because she looks like Ava, and an order that worships Sparta would be like,
That's literally like a statue of the Virgin Mary just kind of like wandering around. Like, somebody might notice, you know what I mean? Somebody probably noticed. And it's not, you can't even make the argument that that Sanctus and company didn't know that Sparta had sons, because they mentioned specifically that they need the blood of a son of Sparta.
Yeah. So they know.
So they know who Ava is. But then it's just like, I don't know. It still seems like a bad idea to send Trish in that case, because is that disguise magic? Or is she just like really, is she just uncomfortably wearing blackface? I need to know. Yeah.
I didn't want to say that word because you're right, but I didn't want to confront it.
I didn't want to think about it, but it popped into my head and I was just like, is it like a magic disguise or is it just really tasteless? Capcom, you need to answer this one for me.
Even if it is magic, it's still kind of tasteless.
It's a little tasteless. It's a little weird. It's just kind of, like, weird in general. Like, everything about it is weird. And to top it all off, we didn't even get a good boss fight out of it.
Yeah, that's like, it's funny because, like, in the version of DMC4 that we could have gotten, there was going to clearly be a Gloria boss fight. There was going to clearly be a Credo rematch, right? Like,
right, of course.
It's obvious. These are just staples, you know? And then it's like, we probably would have even had, like, more members of the Order, because there's really only, like, 3.
There's only 3, yeah. And you know,
you would expect, like, a whole round table of, like, tough-looking guys to fight.
At least, like, one more to just kind of, to just make it like there's like 3 evil dudes and 1 good guy, which is Credo, and then so you'd have that's a pretty good. That's as many bosses as Devil May Cry 1 had.
Yeah.
It's Devil May Cry 1 technically has 4 bosses that you fight 3 times a piece, so it would at least be as much as Devil May Cry 1 had.
Well, you know, it would be more like the Devas in God Hand, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's the 4 of them, and, like, you fight them a few times, and then, you know,
Sanctus just doesn't count,
Yeah.
So the Sanctus fights suck.
They're not great. It's a lot of keep away and dumb, like...
It's not fun. Keep away is not fun with Nero. It's fine with Virgil.
Yeah, I'll bet.
You need to play that, because, again, it is, like hilariously broken. You're just like, oh, okay, this is just how it's gonna be now. I'm just an unstoppable god. It's fine. It rules. It's great. Because it's instantaneous. It's not, you know, like when you pull yourself towards Sanctus with Nero, there's like a slight lag because it's taking into account like normal world physics, where if you pull yourself towards something, there's going to be a little moment of hesitation. Not with Virgil.
No, Virgil just teleports.
No, Virgil just literally teleports. And so it's just like, have fun wailing on this old man for 2.5 minutes.
I do like that when you do the
Buster?
the Buster with him, the Devil Buster, or Devil, whatever. Devil Breaker is 5. It's Devil Bringer
in 4.
Yeah.
But the attack itself
is called Devil Buster.
Is called a Buster. Yeah. Because they didn't want to make that easy on anybody, I guess.
Yeah. So when you do the Buster on him and Nero just order as an old man.
Yeah.
It's the best.
It's pretty satisfying.
Because let's just be completely honest, Nero's Devil Trigger is a stand of his father.
It is a stand of his dead dad. It rules. Are you kidding me? It is like, so cool looking.
Like, I'm actually, like, trying to think, what would it be called?
Hey, this is like your favorite thing. What would it be called?
It is my favorite thing.
I would have thought you would have had one already prepared.
Because I can't think of like a good one. Like a really good one. And I'm kind of I'm like tossing like Bad Out of Hell.
But it would have to have like blue in the title somewhere, because his devil bringer and the actual trigger itself are both like aggressively blue. So it would have to be like one of those songs. But I don't know. I
guess it depends. Like if you're doing by part 4 or part 3 rules, which is if it was part 3, then you'd be able to know this one because you're the Persona one. So what is his tarot card?
What is his tarot card? Technically, because he's the protagonist, he'd be the Fool. But if we wanted to go off of anything else, then like, hold on, let me think real fast. If we're going off Persona rules and like tarot rules, probably like the Chariot.
So this would be Blue Chariot then,
that's
if it was part 3 rules.
Right, but like that's not the rules anybody knows for stand. Like the cool stand rules are like music and song names.
Yeah. And but Metallica's Taken, which is what I would have called it.
Oh,
which sucks because Metallica would be really good for it. But
we're getting off topic.
Rise Against.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's good because he's like a little punk shithead. Yeah,
exactly.
Sure. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. There we go.
There we go. Cool. What were we saying?
It's just cool that his stand is his dad.
His stand is his dad. Yeah. Which is just a thing they just kind of casually confirm.
Yeah.
In like interviews, there's no.
But I mean, also it's incredibly obvious because he is given Yamato.
Yeah, no, it's super, super obvious, and people who are like, well, it could not be.
Well, who else could it be? Dante?
Sparta had another baby? No.
Yeah. You have two options here, and it can't be one of them.
It can't. I'm sorry. So it's obviously, that's what happened, which is its own can of worms and really unexpected for the character, but it's fine and kind of funny because it just means that nobody has their shit together, even the character who seems like they have their shit together.
Yeah, it means that Virgil, the character who is got his everything together and he's the brooding, serious older brother, he has a baby mama that he ditched.
He's had a baby mama that he ditched that he didn't pay child support on.
That he knocked up when he was 19.
And then just bailed later, and then
bye.
Cool, bye. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's excellent. And
who's his mom? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It's a Capcom game. That doesn't matter. It will never matter.
Yeah.
But
also Nero does an absolutely terrible job of hiding the Devil Bringer. The most piss poor method of covering up his big demon arm.
Yeah.
Oh, he pulls his sleeve down.
And then he kind of hides his hand behind his back and is like, boy, I hope nobody notices the giant blue glowing hole in my hand.
He wears a sling that doesn't cover the hand?
Yeah. Yeah, look, nobody has ever said that any son of Sparta is terribly clever, alright? None of them are smart.
But more to the point, shame on Credo and Kyrie for not noticing.
Yeah, that's the truth, because, he's dumb, but they're unobservant.
Yeah.
You didn't notice that in the cathedral?
I mean, it glows, kids. It glows.
It's really aggressively visible is the thing. You should be noticing the giant glowing demon. It has pointy fingertips.
Yeah.
You can't even say that you didn't notice the glowing because it also very much does not look like a people hand.
I do really like how, if you look at the palm, it's got that, blue interior to it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, would probably, more just regular flesh,
Yeah.
Compared to, the carapace on the outside of it.
Right, yeah.
And I like that detail, because it's not, this big, clunky hand. He's got, tactile...
Yeah, it's got
softness
to it as well as the actual scaly demon bits. And hey, by the way, it looks really cool in what we saw of it in the DMC5 trailer.
Yeah.
I'm just chomping to talk about the DMC5. I'm you can see it in the DMC5 trailer. It looks really cool.
I'm on the fence as whether I like the Breaker or the Bringer more. Because the Breaker lets him do cool grappling hook things, but the Bringer's it glows and it's really cool. And
robot arm, I don't know what's cooler, cool demon arm or robot multifunctional arm.
Because he's gonna mechanically it'll be the same. You can still do the Buster, you can still do the slam downs and all that, but the Bringer, when he uppercuts and the giant the stand hand comes out and grabs them and slams them down, or
it's pretty neat.
He does Bayonetta, Madame Butterfly, bunches, and it's oh no, but I like that. But I also
like that a lot.
But I also like when a character has a robot hand that has a grappling hook built into it, and he can just shoot out his hand and grab things.
And again, he can surf on it, and
and he does the cool thing where his hand splits apart, and he just like
and it has like a cool
punches.
When his like fingers split open, and it's like a star looking thing, and it has like it can do neat electrical crap. How cool is that? It's gonna do more stuff than the Bringer, which is kind of why I'm leaning right now that the Breaker will probably ultimately be cooler because it'll be more functional. Like it won't just be what's the word I'm looking for right here, Ben?
I don't know. I don't.
Contextual.
There.
Most of the Bringers, its cool special attacks are contextual. Like it depends on the type of enemy and what their health is.
Yeah, I do really, really like that the Bringer has like a different animation if you are in Devil Trigger.
Yeah, that is neat.
Like, if he's in Devil Trigger, he does like the basic slam down, he'll do it like 2 or 3 times. Mm-hmm. He does Zangief's Ultra to the gold Angelos.
Yes.
Where he does the three suplexes.
There's the Bianco Angelo and the Alto Angelo.
Yeah, the Alto Angelos where he does 3 suplexes and then does the spinning one, and then he follows it up with a drop kick.
Oh, shut up!
It's so cool.
I love it, but I also am like looking forward to less contextual things with the Breaker, where if I can do neat shit to all enemies equally, I think that'll be it. For one, it'll finally give Nero some much needed depth.
Yeah.
But like there's still a lot of neat things in the Bringer, and I'm sad to see it go because that's a prediction. We're gonna hold off on that one.
But I also like I like that he doesn't have a conventional stinger in 4. I like that it's a dashing like slash thing.
Yeah.
Because he's got like the basics of Dante, but like they mix it up so it's not completely the same. And like at first I'm like, oh god, I miss my I miss my trickster dashing. Mm-hmm. I miss the proper stinger and like the rapid stab you can do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no. And then by the time I got to play as Dante, I'm like, oh no, I miss my
Buster and my Slash and just all of Nero's like air combos. I really like. The spin roulette is really good. Mm-hmm. I was missing all of that, and you get used to not having the Trickster Dash, because the Trickster Dash in 4 is not as useful. It doesn't have as many iframes. But for 2, the jump has a ton of iframes in this game. So, like, okay, your Trickster Dash is gone, but the jump still makes you invincible for, like, a huge portion of the jump. So, as long as you're timing your jumps right, it's fine. Although I really do need a dedicated dodge roll button, Capcom. I don't know where you're gonna put it on the controller, because everything is already so mapped out. But, I have never been able, and I don't know if this is a good thing. I think this is a locked camera angle thing, because I never can reliably roll in the direction I want to roll.
Yeah,
when I'm trying to dodge roll.
I have that problem in 4 a lot too, where it's like, I wanted to roll, not jump, or I wanted to jump, not roll. I need to be able to do both. It's based off
of forward and backward is based off of where the camera is locked at the time instead. So when I think I'm gonna dodge roll, I do a dodge jump instead. Yeah. It's like, I don't want to do that, guys. I want to do the other thing, and now I'm dead. Thanks. It's fine.
It's that first boss fight with the
burial.
Yeah, burial.
Lyle.
Where it's like, oh shit, I miss my proper dodge, and I have to get used to this now.
Yeah. As speaking of boss fights, the other problem with 4, and it really does sound like I'm shitting on 4 a lot. I like 4 a lot. I've put more time into 4 than I have any of the other games at this point, because I don't know, I got a few weeks ago, I was just like, I think I'm just gonna play 4 a lot. And then I did. It was
the really nice thing. The nice thing about 4, and especially with the special edition, is that the special edition did do a lot to, like, mitigate the problems that Base 4 had by adding, a bunch more content. It adds 3 more playable characters.
Bloody Palace.
Bloody Palace, and, like, all this other cool stuff. And it's like, which helps because, at the end of the day, you kind of just want to play Devil May Cry, you know?
Yeah.
And it's good for that. It would have been nice if Lady Trish and Virgil had actually had their own campaigns with, like, remixed levels and everything.
Yeah, especially Lady and Trish.
Especially Lady and Trish. But, I mean, it's still playing Devil May Cry, and it's still pretty good.
Yeah, even Devil May Cry at kind of just being okay is, like, really good.
It's still a good time,
It's still really good, yeah. And 4 is, like, it's not mechanically deep, but playing it itself feels very satisfying. So even when even when there isn't as much going on under the surface as in 3, I don't know. I still just really enjoy playing 4, just getting my hands on the controller and just fighting a bunch of shit in the Bloody Palace for a while.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I kind of talked about this when we were talking about, like, our favorite games, and I talked about how Odyssey, the reward of Odyssey is playing Odyssey.
Right.
It's kind of the same thing with 4, where it's like, you have to kind of put yourself in the mindset of, like, well, yeah, I'm not playing towards anything, I'm playing it because it's a fun game to play. And
right.
That's kind of a hard mindset to get into for a lot of games, especially for Devil May Cry, where, like, it does have a story, and especially by 3 and 4, like, it's picking up on its story direction,
Right, yeah, it actually knows what it wants to do with itself.
Mm-hmm.
But, ultimately, it's still, I don't mean to, like, sound like, I'm not shitting on this game, because I do actually enjoy this game, and it's, like, incredibly affordable, and you can get a lot of a good time out of DMC4 Special Edition right now. I think it's, like, $15. I got it on PlayStation sale for $7.50, which is a steal, no matter how you slice it.
Mm-hmm.
Slice. Like with a sword.
Yeah, slice.
God damn it.
That's the other thing is Devil May Cry puts those fucking, like, one-liners in your head, like Dante going, "Breakdown!
Breakdown! It's slam dunk!" I can hear Nero's slam dunk in my dreams.
the slam dunk is my favorite because it implies that Fortuna has a basketball team.
They just all come out onto the court wearing jerseys and shorts, but those same stupid hoods that everybody in Fortuna wears. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're called the Fortuna Swords, and they suck. They've never had a winning season in all 75 years of operation. And Nero's just like, one day it's going to be our time. And no, they never, ever make it to the playoffs, ever. And so it's just like the saddest sports team in the world because they're a religious city, and so they can't actually have good sports. BYU is a bad football team, and the Fortuna Swords are a bad basketball team. It's just how it is, guys.
Now I'm just picturing, like, how we always do with, like, Spartans, Like, I'm just picturing a guy, like, in a big Sparta mascot costume coming out.
But it's like, it's not like it's his weird, gross bug demon self. As
like all cartoony looking.
Like a cartoony, like, sports mascot. Yeah. Oh no, it sucks.
Nero absolutely owns a Fortuna Swords shirt.
And,
like a t-shirt.
And a bobblehead of the mascot. Oh, God. Oh, no. We got off topic. What was I going to say? Boss fights.
Oh, yeah, the boss fights. The boss fights are good the first time.
They're fine. They're good the first time, and then you have to do them
again
3 more times, and it's never... So, okay, here's the thing. But Sarah, you might say, you just said you had to fight all the bosses in Devil May Cry 1 3 times apiece. And you're right, gentle listener, who is for some reasoning questioning me. How dare you? You do have to fight all of the bosses in Devil May Cry 1 3 times. The difference is they're in a different goddamn place.
Yeah, the reason you fight Virgil 3 times is because the Virgil fight escalates. and it gets bigger and badder, and then, it culminates in something because he's getting more abilities and whatnot. Whereas
the Griffin fight changes locations, and so you have to get better at navigating these arenas to actually do damage to him and not die, and it makes it kind of interesting,
Yeah, Nello Angelo spends the first 2 fights in a big open area, and then he's more enclosed, and it's oh shit, he's right up in my grill. Mm-hmm. And then it's literally the same fight.
It's the same fight. There aren't even new mechanical additions, I think.
Yeah, you go to the same... Nero Dante fights all of Nero's bosses in the exact same locations that Nero fights them.
Yeah, they don't even mix up the area where you fight... I don't even know any of the boss's names. Echidna, that's the one I remember for some reason. You fight Echidna in the same place all 3 times. They didn't even... The boss rush doesn't even have a different arena for the bosses. If the boss rush had been set in a Colosseum kind of thing with different changing platforms or something, that would have made it at least a little bit more interesting, because I don't hate a boss rush. I don't hate the boss rush in 3.
I do.
But it's fine, because at least building up into that point, you've had a ton of different varied bosses. Unlike in 4, where you're doing a boss rush of bosses you've already fought twice. Every boss in 3 is unique until the boss rush. You never fight the same boss twice, other than Virgil.
Yeah.
And so at least when you do the boss rush in 3, it's this is a quiz, pop quiz time. Here, take everything you've learned over the course of the game and do it again, but better. And then the boss rush in 4 is just, you've already done this, but we need to pad the game for time desperately. Yeah. So here's a terrible dice game, and if I see a single dice in Devil May Cry 5, I'm chucking my disc into the sun.
So here's what I'm going to say. And this might sound crazy.
Oh boy.
I would like it if the dice game was multiplayer. Because, imagine, a Mario Party-esque Devil May Cry thing. Where, you pick between, Dante, Nero, Virgil, Trish, and Lady.
Yeah.
And you go around the board and, you have to fight enemies, or you have to fight the boss, or you have to, fight each other.
Oh my god, you know what? I don't hate that idea. Now that I'm thinking, because you could be scored on, how much damage you do to the boss, or how many enemies you kill in, a horde mode kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or if you fight each other, it's just last man standing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I don't hate that idea. Why would you even do that? That's actually an okay game mode, now that I'm thinking about it. Oh, no! Anything is better, at least, than the fucking dice that we get in 4. Because, boy, that is a gimmick that needed to have been strangled in the crib. Somebody should have been hey, how about instead of going to cool locations, we just roll some dice and then you fight some shit and it sucks. And then somebody should have slapped that man in the teeth, but nobody did.
Yeah, we didn't get a Gloria fight, but we did get the dice game.
We got the dice game. Thanks, Capcom. I'm specifically blaming you. Oh, Devil May Cry 4, you do test my patience. I love you, but you test me sometimes. It's fine. I do love it.
It's fine.
I love playing it. It's weird. Even with all this stupid shit, I was replaying it, even as I don't really playing as Lady because she's really slow, and I just don't like it. I feel like if Lady if you could have unlocked 2 more combo, by using Proud Souls, if you could have used Proud Souls to buy her 2 more bayonet combos, I would actually like it way more, because then I would feel like I'd have more variety while pacing out my gun combos. Mm-hmm. But instead, it's the same bayonet combo between gun combos every time, and I just don't like it. So,
yeah, I don't like playing as her, but everyone else feels really, really good.
Everybody else feels really good, so that's why I love playing it over and over again, even with its myriad flaws, because just the act of playing Devil May Cry is really fun, turns out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add about 4?
Can I have like a fangirl moment for
go
a
for
few
it.
seconds? Devil May Cry 4 Dante is the hottest man in the entire
He's
universe.
really attractive.
Like, we just need to have a short aside about that. It is, you could weaponize it, and he does. It's amazing. He is so beautiful that I'm just like, who did this? Whose man's? Because I want to send them like a bouquet and a thank you note for how beautiful DMC4 Dante actually is. It's insane.
Just imagine any of the other Dantes doing the Lucifer bit, and it's not as good. It's not as good.
It's not as good. The entire bit with Agnes is incredible.
Oh, or they just quoting. They're not even quoting Shakespeare, but it's Shakespearean anyway.
It's Shakespearean in nature, and they are both so like dramatic and over the top. And Reuben Langdon's like line reading is hysterical, and all of his facial expressions are perfect. And it's just like, who carved you out of marble? How are you this perfect? Oh my god! It's a little weird how beautiful Dante is in DMC4, and I know that's not usually what this podcast is about, but I am still at like the core of my soul just a weird gross fangirl who somebody gave an expensive mic to and was like, here, talk for 2 hours about video games, and sometimes my true nature has to shine through. And Devil May Cry is a franchise built around that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Around a bunch of beautiful people beating things up. It's great.
Like, let's just be honest here. Everyone in Devil May Cry is hot. Like,
everybody in Devil May Cry is super hot, except for, like, you know, the ones who aren't supposed to be. Everybody else is beautiful.
Like, everyone else is just, like, they're all very attractive. And
it's great. It's great. And it's just, like, the DMC4 Dante is just, is modeled by the hands of the Lord with how perfect his face is. It's incredible. So, I can't wait for 5, because I've seen his face model, and Adam Cowie is just, mwah! That's a finger kiss, if you can't tell. Ah, he's perfect. So, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, right. I don't want to spend too long talking about this piece of shit game, because we did it for 3 hours, but, hey, Ben, I'm going to start the discussion for once about this game, because I know you have a lot to say about this exact topic. Hey, Ben! This is the idiot on Twitter asking the question, by the way. That's my idiot on Twitter voice. Hey, Ben! You said you like Nero because he's like a loudmouth prick, right? What's the difference between him and Dante?
The big difference between him and Dante is that Nero is still charming about it.
Yeah,
and
much.
Nero actually has, like, a sympathetic and, like, empathetic moment, like, to his character. Mm-hmm. And he is not introduced as to being an irredeemable piece of shit who gets better. He is also entirely sincere about everything he does. In fact, the biggest difference between Devil May Cry and DMC is that Devil May Cry is an incredibly sincere series.
Right. Yeah.
It's crucially important that if you're going to have a character who starts off as a prick and then learns responsibility, you have to still make him somewhat endearing at the beginning so we can root for him to get better.
Right.
You have to introduce, like, the empathetic side of him so we can be like, oh, I want to see that side nurtured and grown, and so he can become better. You cannot just make him garbage and then make him better because we won't care.
Right.
Also, he doesn't swear as much, and he's not as vulgar, and it's still really uncomfortable to think of Devil May Cry like that.
Yeah. It just feels really. The thing I was thinking of when we were watching those god awful cutscenes, how dare you even make me do that, is how artificial DMC is, like, artificial in its badass, and that's in finger quotes, by the way. It is so fake, and it feels like focus tested to be the most Western badass thing imaginable, and because it's so artificial in its sense of cool, it just goes right into being the least cool thing in the universe, you know?
The problem with it, and there's a lot of things that I can talk about that are compared to this. Mm-hmm. DMC is doing the thing where it's trying to be an adaptation of something and trying to be cool in spite of the source material.
Yeah.
It has this like shame for the source material.
Yeah, to him in his fucking PowerPoint presentation about what Dante is and is not comes to mind.
Of course. I mean, that's like the big standout right there. Is like he actually had like a PowerPoint to show like, no, this is what's cool and this is why Dante sucks.
Oh my god.
And it's like the most embarrassing thing you could ever imagine. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, because it's like basically like this isn't actually a slide. Excuse me. This isn't one of the slides, but like it's a good comparison. Like, Dante is like whatever fucking was the popular emo rock band in the early aughts,
right?
And Dante is Freddie Mercury,
right? Yeah,
and it's like, wow, you know, you get it. Like, which one's cooler? It's like, well, it's clearly Freddie Mercury.
It's like,
it doesn't.
It's obvious because
between Sum 41 and Freddie Mercury, which one's cooler?
I don't know. Which one's cooler and more timeless? Because like, boy, that's the thing about like Devil May Cry versus DMC is that, boy, DMC has aged badly. And it was already dated by the time it came out in 2013. You said when we were doing the live stream of us watching this piece of shit, that it feels like 2007, like Bush era punk rock, but it came out in 2013.
Yeah, it feels like this game came out in like 2003.
Yeah.
And like it's that level of like edgy, emo, hardcore, like swearing and blood and dicks and, you know,
and hookers and drugs and implied sexual abuse, because that's cool.
That
you know?
grime.
Yeah.
And it's like that's not what Devil May Cry is like about at all. You get this exact same thing with the MCU versus DCEU thing.
Right.
Where the DCEU feels more like it's more ashamed to be superheroes.
Right, yeah.
And the MCU is like fully embracing it. Right. It's the same thing with people who are like, man, I wish Kingdom Hearts would have a character that like kind of acknowledges how silly everything's being, and it's like,
no, fuck irony.
No.
I hate irony.
Yeah, it's, you know, the people who laugh at Borderlands jokes are the people who like Devil May Cry, Devil May Cry.
Right, exactly.
It's
just like, hey, let's make fun of this thing that people love and take, you know, kind of enjoy, and we're gonna pretend that we're cooler than it and we're somehow above it. And those are the people that are being allowed to reboot a franchise like Devil May Cry. Are people who kind of seem to like hate it.
That's it. That's what exactly what it is. It feels like they got a guy who hates the series to reboot it.
Yeah, and that's Tamim.
Yeah,
Tamim hates Devil May Cry. Yeah,
he hates everything that Devil May Cry stands for, and they're like, "Oh, you can reboot it, sure, no problem."
Yeah.
And you know, we were watching it, and I'm like, I was expecting. It's funny because like the way it's presented, you know, it's like it's all edgy and it's all like this graffiti, spray paint, you know, UI and you know, red and black everywhere and all that. And then like Dante never does anything cool.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that it is somehow both not as bad as I expected, but still almost worse than what I expected, because it's so boring.
Yeah, because like all we watch is the cutscenes, right? You know,
right.
Most of those cutscenes are just Dante like standing around or like walking somewhere.
Yeah,
you know, and then you think about like all the cool shit that Dante and Nero do in 3 and 4. You know,
right?
Like Dante and Nero will just do cool shit for themselves, you know?
Just for the hell of it, because it's just because they can, because they're like, that seems like fun.
The Nero Dante fight in the beginning, like we were talking about, where it's like they're doing all this weird stuff. They're trying to sit on the pews. Nero pushes the sword away from the statue, and Dante like rides the hilt of it down.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You know, they do these cool acrobatic things, and like it's just how they are. Right. You know, we had there's that bit where Dante is in limbo, and like train cars are like flying at him now.
Yeah.
And all he does is he just kind of stands there and lets them fly past him.
And I said during the thing, I was like, if this was Devil May Cry, like real Devil May Cry, Dante would have been surfing on one of those things.
He would have hopped on one and he would have ridden it, or he would have like run through like an open door and like
jumped out the side. Yeah.
It's just like, and it's like, how many times is it just like Dante standing around and talking to Virgil or Kat?
So many of the cutscenes in this game are literally just characters standing around expositing the plot at each other. And like, so in a way, it's not as aggressively bad as I was expecting, but because it is just characters standing around and just talking the plot at each other, it's worse. You know what I mean?
It's also funny because, like, it's very clearly supposed to be, like, it's clearly, like, harping off of Devil May Cry 3, right? Like,
right.
It's you know, it's Dante and Virgil's introduction to each other and all that.
Right.
It even kind of opens similarly with Dante in a state of nudity.
Right.
Being assaulted when he's caught off guard and he has to, like, gather up his gear. Mm-hmm. But, like, think about all the cool shit Dante did in 3.
Right.
Like, in that opening cutscene with the jukebox, with the chair, and the telephone, and the pool cue, and all that.
Right.
In DMC, he just jumps through his trailer, and he gets dressed in midair.
Right.
And that's, like, about it.
And that's there really isn't any other kind of cutscene ridiculousness in the whole game that I can think of. No, there isn't anything.
There isn't.
And
there's nothing like that.
And so to watch it is like the most bland thing imaginable. It's just boring, and it feels so like they thought, oh, we can make it better. We can make it more like cinematic. But when cinematic is just characters standing around and talking at each other with really bad cinematography, with just your standard shot, reverse shot dialogue happening at each other, or even more egregious, there are sequences in this game that are walk and talks, which is the worst thing and the least appropriate Devil May Cry thing ever.
It's the least Devil May Cry thing you could ever do, is just walk down this hallway while a character talks to you. While
Kat talks to you about boring things. It honestly would have been preferable if you had just put all that shit in the cutscene, because for as useful as it is, the walk and talk is one of the worst things video games have come up with in recent history. The walk and talk is bad.
Yeah, it's
especially in like high octane action games. If you're playing a more kind of just chill, you know, like your walking sims and whatever, because I've said before I don't have a problem with walking sims. But in your high octane action games and stuff like that, just put that in a cutscene, y'all. Just put it in a cutscene. Why am I even controlling this when I can't do anything right now? You know, give me time to go get another drink.
Yeah, it's just so, it's so weird how like
bland it is.
I don't know what Tamim thought he could do to Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, okay, so like, I'm thinking of how to put this, where it's like, okay, he clearly wanted to reboot Devil May Cry to be like his vision, right?
Right.
Well, like, what are the parts he actually liked about Devil May Cry? Because even the things that are like universally praised, like the Dante Virgil dynamic,
yeah,
he strips that out.
It's completely
he rips that right out, like. Even if you are, like, embarrassed about, like, how, like, oh, he looks dumb and he's got dumb silver hair and, you know, or whatever. And it's like, well, the simple core mechanic of the older brother is this unstoppable badass that just kicks your ass immediately, and you have to build up to fight him. Mm-hmm. He yanks that out.
Yeah.
Virgil's a wimp. He's a weenie.
Virgil is like the most, and he's not even like interesting in any way. That's the most, and he's so far removed from canon. You know, like I was saying again when we were doing the riff tracks thing, the bones of Dante and DMC3 are in Dante. Like the concept is essentially the same. He's like a weird fight hobo. He hates his dad, or he doesn't really know his dad. He doesn't really give a shit about the well-being of the world. He just kind of wants to fight demons and do his own thing. And he can be kind of rude and dismissive about, like, other people. That's functionally... Yeah, that's DMC3 Dante, just less insufferable in 3, but the concept is still mostly the same, you know?
Yeah.
Kat is kind of a lady analog, but we're not even going to go into that. But she is sort of a lady analog with the whole, like, horrible dad thing, and she's just like a regular chick who's really good at like a thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, there's nothing.
There's nothing of real Virgil in Virgil.
There's nothing like interesting or cool about this guy at all. He's like somehow manages to be the most bland character in a game full of bland characters, which is just staggering. Virgil is more bland than Kat.
It's that thing where it's I feel like it's that thing where it's like we're supposed to think Virgil's cool because we know what 3 Virgil is like, you know?
Yeah, that's what this is. This game is kind of writing off of, well, everybody played Devil May Cry 3. So then it's not really even a good reboot, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's just...
Excuse me.
Bless you. Goodness.
Yeah. It's just, he's so... He doesn't fight until the end of the game. Like, he doesn't do anything action-y.
And so you never see him, even if there had been like if there had been a cutscene in DMC showing that Virgil is like a hyper competent in combat, and he just chooses not to because he's just like, it's beneath me or something like that.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't even have to actually fight him, because they were trying to go for like a Dante and Virgil don't hate each other dynamic, which is interesting, but handled very poorly.
Yeah.
But it's a cool concept where if you had like, you know, Dante's like, he can fight all these monsters, and then, you know, or like something bad happens and a bunch of demons show up, and Dante's like, oh, I gotta go help Virgil, and then Kat's like, no, it's fine. And then it hard cuts to Virgil just like owning the shit out of demons that have been giving Dante a hard time, you know?
Or you know what you could have done that would be perfect, like would be very Devil May Cry-ish, actually?
What?
There's that fucking cutscene where Virgil's like, yes, our dad gave us a sword each. You got Rebellion and I got Yamato.
Right.
You know, we've already known that Rebellion's a really cool sword and it hacks up monsters really good. Have it be like, I got Yamato, and like as he's saying that, like a fucking army of demons shows up, and Virgil just draws the sword, and in a flash, they're all dead.
Right, yeah.
You know?
Just
and then you're
something.
like, motherfucker, he's tough! And then so when you fight him later, it's like, oh shit, he's actually really strong!
Yeah, you actually have, like, some tension building toward this fight, where, like, in 3, the tension is that, you know, Virgil and Dante have fought. He's lost the first time, they fought to a standstill the second time, and now here we are, it's the third one, and, you know, it's all this tension is building toward, like, hey, can I actually overcome this massive challenge? And the game has done a good job showing you that, like, the final boss of Devil May Cry 3 is going to be a huge challenge, because Virgil has been, basically from the start of the game, an unstoppable badass. Nothing's ever really, like, been able to slow him down at all. And so, you know, there's like that tension there of just like, oh shit. But there's no tension like that in DMC. Yeah. It's just kind of like, oh, I guess Dante and Virgil are going to fight now because that's what's expected out of a Devil May Cry.
And you know, we and it's like you don't feel like it's not like you don't feel like it's going to be a challenge because like, even the only time we ever see Virgil in action is during the Mundus fight, and
he doesn't use his sword.
He's not like doing cool shit. He's like doing standard like I'll distract him over here or I'll take care of him on this side and you fight him here, and it's like he still gets eaten at one point and you have to rescue him, and it's like why would I be afraid of him in the fight?
Yeah, there's no sense of this is like a big deal. This is just this is honestly just you beating up a nerd.
Yeah, you are just bullying a guy.
You're just bullying a nerd at this point, and it's just like the worst. The characterization is bad. The whole game is just, again, somehow worse and better than I expected at the same time. It is not as aggressively grotesque as I was expecting in my brain, but what we got instead was something that was just bland and poorly written and boring.
Yeah. It's just so infuriating because, like, there was, like, the occasional moment where it's like Dante did something that's kind of Dante-esque.
He kind of says a thing and you're like, that sounds like Dante.
Like in the Virgil's Downfall DLC, which is, like, the only, like, really good Devil May Cry-ish thing in the entire game.
Yeah, it's shocking that how much more interesting the Virgil's Downfall DLC was, and it was marred so hard by the awful cutscenes. Oh my god, who is responsible for those?
Weird storyboard cutscenes.
Oh, they're really bad. They look like something again out of 2007.
Yeah, but there's that bit where Virgil throws a train car at Dante.
Yeah.
And he climbs out unscathed and he's like, I hate public transportation. It's like, that's a Ruben Langdon line!
You did it! You did it! You wrote a Dante. You wrote a Dante once. In all of this game, you wrote a Dante one time, and I'm so proud of you. Yeah, it's like every now and then, I'm saying, I don't want a Devil May Cry reboot, but you could, with the, ideas presented to you, make a decent game out of what Devil May Cry is made out of. Because there's a few concepts in there that I think are really cool. I like the weird quantum nature of the demon world. I like the level design a lot. I just think it looks really neat. It's different. It's kind of like BioShock Infinite, but kind of better, sort of. And there's a few interesting ideas in there, maybe?
The limbo concept reminds me of the tower in 3, but taken to a crazy nth degree, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's like this whole, it has its own, works on its own crazy internal logic, and there's a lot of really cool screenshots out there of really interesting levels in DMC.
The whole impossible geometry, aspect of it is really cool, and that would be a cool, setting for, a real Devil May Cry game. Yeah,
that it's just this very... Just the color palette is really nice in some of them. A lot of them are way too aggressively one color. But every now and then you'll get these nice shots of really rich blues and color palettes that you've never seen in a Devil May Cry before. And I'm like, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few interesting ideas in there. I don't hate the idea of Ava being an angel. It's fine. It's not great because it's kind of interesting that she's just a regular human lady who got, the Lord of all demons to fall in love with her. It's kind of neat. But it's fine. So it's kind of there's a few bones in this game that's that could have been good. But instead it's just bad.
Yeah, instead it just ends up being really, really... bad. It's eye-rolling... Mm-hmm. in its presentation and everything, and that's what it really boils down to, is that it's it's so try-hard.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
It's so unnecessary.
Yeah,
because it's not like Devil May Cry was hurting for a reboot.
Yeah, it's weird.
4 came out and did well.
Yeah, it sold well. It made back its budget and then some, and people liked it. It was flawed, but people liked it. It wasn't massively critically panned the way 2 was. It was just kind of people oh, well, it's a little underwritten and it's a little skimpy on content, but it's still a functionally good character action game. And so it's like, was Devil May Cry really desperate for a reboot? Like, did anybody think DMC actually needed a reboot? Who? Why?
And it's like, it's funny because I was reading up on it, and it's like they were like, for a while it was like ambiguous. It was like, is this a prequel? Is this technically going to be a prequel to 3?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Is it a reboot? Is it a alternate continuity? Like, is it just like a weird one-off thing? Is it a reimagining of 3?
Right.
Like
what is it? What is this game?
And then it's like, okay, well, 5's coming out, so it's just a failed reboot concept.
Yeah, it's just a failed reboot. And I will say, there's a YouTuber out there, his name is Foxcade. He did a pretty good breakdown of DMC's development cycle, and it did sound kind of like in the early conceptualizing stages that they wanted to make it more, at least visually and thematically, closer to the actual Devil May Cry. Like, a lot of those original concepts of Dante are more punk rock versions of, like, the Dante we know, where he's white hair and jacket and stuff like that. But then Capcom came in and was like, no, make it even more different. So it's part of this is also on Capcom. Like, let's not...
A little bit. It's kind of like that thing where it's like people blame Team Ninja for Other M, but it's like, no. The director of the first Metroid game was also on board with this.
Yeah, no, everybody has a little bit of blame. But the majority of it falls to Tamim, because I hate Tamim. I just think he's a huge prick, and I don't like him.
Because he made that PowerPoint.
He made that PowerPoint, and he was like, Devil May Cry 4 Dante is gay, and it's like, yeah, he is, and he's the coolest person you've ever known in your entire life, you incredibly massive piece of shit. What's your point?
Yeah.
What's your point? Are you jealous? Is that what this is to me? You're just straight and just like the most mediocre individual who's ever existed, and so you're taking it out on way cooler characters than yourself? Is that this? You know?
It's like this huge insecurity that's just pouring into Devil May Cry.
Everywhere. Everywhere.
It is so insecure in how it doesn't want to be the weird Japanese thing, you know?
It's so, like, just the most boring, just insecure masculinity, just all kinds of really dull ideas.
DMC was made for the guys who were like, oh, look at those wacky Japanese guys.
Yeah, oh my god, the most boring people on Earth who are like, Japan's so wacky. Like, shut up. You have the least interesting personality of anybody I've ever met.
They look at any game with an anime art style and it has like a mascot character and like, whoa, what kind of drugs is Japan doing?
Yeah.
What is that, exactly. A talking cat? Wow!
Oh my god! Yeah, it sucks. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about DMC. I mean, other than everything I said in the 3 hours we talked about it the other night. It's just made by a bunch of really insecure people, and it's a bad product, and somehow it is also incredibly boring.
Yeah, its presentation is so annoyingly, like, aggressive, and yet the actual substance is just so bland.
It's so boring.
He doesn't even have, like, a single... Like, the only time he actually gets in, like, a proper back-and-forth exchange with an enemy is with the succubus, and it's just, like, the most cringe-inducing, like...
Juvenile.
What was the one... He's like, I'm your prom date, bitch?
Yeah. I'm your prom date, you ugly sack of shit.
Are you for
real? Are you fucking for real? Is it 2007 and we're still making high school jokes?
That's like a line you're going to actually say and mean it.
Wow. Somebody approved this line. Somebody looked at the script and saw, I'm your prom date, you ugly sack of shit, and then also saw the fuck you exchange, and somebody was like, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. That's Devil May Cry. That feels like appropriate for a Devil May Cry game.
Let's go to the recording booth with this. It's fine.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And I don't think Dante's voice actor in this game is bad. He's not Reuben Langdon. But he's fine. I mean, the voice acting and stuff is all totally competent. It's just...
it's alright. I mean, like, it's
functional, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just...
It's just the things they're saying is not good.
It's bad. So, yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be really easy to finish this podcast off tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That's an easy call off.
That's an easy sound off. Yeah.
Yep.
So hey, Benjamin.
Yeah, what's up?
Since we have like 30 minutes left, we've managed to actually get what we wanted to say about DMC4 and DMC off our chests. Mm-hmm. I asked the subreddit, our Devil May Cry, who are a bunch of cool shitposting dudes, to help us make a bingo card, because we are blatantly lifting this idea from the best friends, but it's fine.
But it's in a positive way, because like things we're excited about.
It's a thing I love a lot, and Devil May Cry has the nice advantage of being just on the cusp of being predictable enough, but also like ridiculous enough that you could make a pretty interesting bingo card out of its myriad tropes and what you might think is going to happen in DMC 5. So, I asked subreddit. They gave us a bunch of suggestions. We're going to make 25 of... There's 25 squares on a bingo card, right? Yes. We're going to pick 25 of them, along with if there's something in here that isn't mentioned, but we want to put on the bingo card, we will. And we're going to just kind of put it down, and we have a bunch of suggestions, thank God. So we're going to do what the best friends did, and I'm going to read things off, and we're going to just write down the ones that we think sound the best. Mm-hmm. And then we'll narrow it down from there. Sound good?
And then we'll also put in our own suggestions if we feel like it, or change reword things to make it fit what we want.
And to fit a bingo card square, because some of these are kind of long. No offense, some of these will not fit in a teeny tiny bingo square, but it's still nice that people gave us suggestions, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you everyone's on the subreddit. You guys are awesome. I love the DMC subreddit.
Everybody is awesome. Oh, and I did make one rule when I made the thread. I already know the free space. The free space is Let's Rock, baby.
Yep, that's the free space.
The free space is 100% Let's Rock or Let's Rock, baby. So, somebody suggested it should be Dante gets impaled by his own sword, which is totally valid, but I think even DMC 2 has Let's Rock, baby, and it doesn't have Dante getting impaled by his own sword. So, yeah, it's gotta be that one.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna write that down. Or,
You know what? Even DMC had Dante getting impaled by his sword. So even that is a more real Devil May Cry than 2.
Yeah. I think I still like 2 more than... just because, like, it has a really good Dante design. So, like, even in that way, 2 is still a better game. Hold on. Piece of paper.
I'll keep track of it, because I have a wireless keyboard, so you won't actually hear me clacking away at it.
Oh, good. Excellent. I was about to start looking around for a piece of paper in my notebook. So, first and foremost, though, the most upvoted response is Dante gets impaled by his own weapon.
Alright, so let me just wait here. The free space is... There we go. And then...
Computer.
And then so it's... Dante gets impaled by his own sword.
That's super, super obvious.
It's super going to happen.
It's almost too easy.
I am tempted to say it's by his own or just gets impaled by a big sword, because it might be Nero who does it again. Do you want to make it his own, like specifically his own sword, or do you want to have it just gets impaled in the chest?
I'm gonna say with his own sword, because all 3 games have, like, the 3 games that matter have had that happen. He gets impaled by Force Edge and Alistair. He gets impaled by Rebellion on top of the tower, and Nero lobs Rebellion at him in the opening cutscene of DMC4. So I am gonna say it's with his own sword.
Okay, with his own sword. Okay, that's fine.
Because, I mean, like, it just seems really obvious at this point. Okay, so next one is, it's a bunch of them. Dante does some really stupid shit with the devil army just found. Yeah.
I'm not gonna say stupid shit. I'm gonna say like Dante does a demonstration with the devil arm.
Yeah. Nero gets a heart-to-heart moment with his father he literally never met. Probably gonna happen, but not good bingo card material.
No, I wouldn't say that one.
V is a half demon. There's actually a contradicting one down below that I am actually going to put a vote toward. Basically, V is either a half demon or he's a human. I'm putting a vote toward V being a human.
I think so too.
Okay, so let's put V as a human.
V is a human, okay.
This one is not gonna happen. Someone from the main cast dies. Sorry, dude, not happening.
Unless it's Virgil, but he already died, so it doesn't
Virgil
count.
is not a member of the main cast anyways. Virgil is like the weird asshole.
Right. Virgil has been in every game, but he's not a main member of the cast.
Mundus returns.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna say yes, and here's why.
Okay, hit me.
Itsuno is going to retroactively turn Tell My Grandkids Hi into a prophecy.
Yeah, that's true. You know, like, Dante says, say hi to my son. So,
oh, yeah. So
it's actually really funny that it's actually his nephew.
Yeah.
So we'll stick with that one tentatively.
Yeah. I'll add it to the list and we can cut it down if we
Oh, yeah,
want
absolutely. They make fun of DMC. Like DMC.
See, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want them to or not.
I kind of don't want them to even acknowledge it.
Okay, here's what I want to. Here's actually what I want to add, and it's kind of sadistic.
Oh God, yeah.
DMC fans find what they think is a slam to DMC,
yeah,
but it's not actually. So, like, I want to put like
cold.
False DMC slam.
Oh my God, that's very meta. Let's not, because I feel like, also because I don't think they will, because Itsuno has mentioned before that they want to take the small handful of good concepts that are in DMC, and they want to like take some of those ideas. Like obviously Nero's look is kind of based off of Dante's, so I guess they're trying to be respectful. They're being the bigger man.
Yeah.
Good for them. They retcon shit from DMC2. Nah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Okay, so you know what? Let's reword that, though.
Okay.
Do you want to put it'll be post or pre-DMC2?
Ooh.
Which one is the bingo one?
Ooh. Oh, no! I don't know which one I want more. I want it to be post-DMC2.
Okay, yeah, I'll put it's post-DMC... Actually, you know what? I'm going to put it... We finally passed the hurdle.
We finally passed DMC2. Yes, let's get over this one.
Yeah, we finally passed the DMC2 hurdle.
Okay.
Because it's funny because, like, Itsuno said, like, it's a direct sequel to 4.
Yeah.
But Dante is clearly way older, and so is Nero, and so it's like...
And he's riding a motorcycle, and he's back from some place where he couldn't shave, so...
Yeah, so...
Are you back from hell? Is that what this is? Who knows? Nero gets the Devil Bringer back. That's not a great bingo card suggestion. Like,
I don't think he will.
I don't think he will either.
I think whatever happens to Virgil, he will take it with him.
Yeah. Somebody on Twitter suggested the incredibly baller idea that Virgil just lobs his own fucking arm off and like attaches.
That would be really cool.
It'd be so cool.
That would be really badass.
It's not good bingo card material.
No.
But just as an aside, how fucking cool would that be? Like, what an incredible summary of that guy's character, other than he cuts his own arm off willingly to attach the Devil Bringer to it. Shut up!
Might controls everything,
it's
okay?
So radical.
Virgil's so cool.
That's the problem. Fuck Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
Fucking game. Someone says devils never cry.
No, that's already been said.
Dante gets impaled by his own weapon. The Seven Hells return. That's the enemies from the 3. We've already seen something that looks like a Hell Wrath, I think, in the trailers. So that one is meh.
Yeah.
Virgil is still corrupted.
That one's obvious. Like,
that
he clearly is.
That's pretty obvious. It's pretty easy to tell.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, let's upgrade it then, and then we can trim it if we want. Virgil is still corrupted and is still being mind-controlled by something.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's my pet theory, because he is still corrupted, and he never technically broke the Nello Angelo problem.
I'll put Virgil is still a puppet.
Yeah, there you go. Because that's kind of like my little pet theory, is why.
So, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7. Okay, so we have 7. All right.
Okay, cool. We've got plenty to go.
Yeah.
Don't
okay.
worry. Everybody was very helpful. It's great.
Yay!
Nero gets a proper devil trigger.
Oh.
I'm gonna say yes, but only because his fucking theme song is called Devil Trigger.
Yeah. Because also it'd be really thematic, considering that the stand is part of the Devil Bringer.
Right. Virgil is.
You know what? I'm gonna write it as Nero gets to pull his Devil Trigger.
Yes. Perfect. Virgil is the last boss. No,
we already did Virgil as the last boss.
No, Virgil is not the last boss. This one is. These two are. I kind of want. We could maybe merge them. Lady returns and Trish returns. Because if one's coming back, then so is the other.
Yeah.
So Lady and Trish return.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger ending, maybe, but that's not.
They're not really known for doing that.
No, they do kind of wrap it up just in case one of them sells like shit.
Yeah,
so it's like, hey, it all kind of closed off with a nice bow.
Like it might have like a stinger at the end where it's like, hey, we got one more mission, guys, because that's what 4 did, and then 3 and 1 do that.
Yeah, but no. Aerial Rave returns, well, maybe. But not bingo card worthy.
Yeah, no.
Nero actually uses Yamato this time. Put it on the board and we'll trim it if we have to. It's a cool idea, and I could see it happening. And they make a point out of mentioning it in the pachinko cutscenes. They show Virgil, they still like Ghost Virgil showing Nero how to use Yamato.
Ooh, okay.
I say maybe. We might trim it.
I'll put it on the list, yeah.
Dante uses Sparta. Probably not.
No, that's Trish's.
That's a Trish's thing. A demon from a previous game returns as a boss. No.
No, they don't reuse bosses like that.
These are ones that are probably going to happen, but are not bingo card worthy. Dante eats pizza. Dante is serious/sad. Boring/bad platforming, which is probably going to come back. And this one I don't think is going to happen because it's been pretty implied that Nico is responsible for this, but Devil Breakers are acquired from bosses.
Yeah, I think that's... Hello?
Can you hear me?
Okay, now I can. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It's okay. Yeah, no, Devil Breakers are acquired from bosses. I'm just kind of like,
No, Nico is going... Because the whole gimmick behind them is that they're breakable.
Yeah.
So, like, you have to keep buying them, so you can't just get them from bosses, like...
Right. And then I just noticed in the comments somebody mentions that it's what we see in the trailer are Hell Prides. Sorry, I don't know all of the enemy names in DMC3.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they're all really samey. Sorry, guys. This is one that I definitely think we need to get, and it's just so cool, because I would actually die. A triple jackpot.
Triple jackpot!
Triple jackpot!
Yeah, I hope so. I really, really, really hope so. Because there's 3 guns now. There are 3 guns between them.
The 3 guns between the 3 Sons of Sparta, you could feasibly get a triple jackpot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe we won't clarify this on the card, but they don't necessarily have to say jackpot. If it's
they just have to
3 of them using the gun at this, like guns at the same time, that's a triple jackpot, Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We'll hear the phrase, I need more power, or I'm motivated.
No.
Maybe I need
Because
more power, but
But that's like a generic line. That could anyone say that. Like, now I'm motivated is not Nero's catchphrase.
Right, yeah. Virgil, you did it again.
Yeah, I did it again. Fuck.
You did it again.
Goddamn father and son.
It's so funny. Dante will finish his pizza. Dante will actually get to finish. Put it on the board and we might trim it, but it's so funny that I honestly want to see Dante get to just finish a whole pizza without somebody stealing his goddamn food. So next is a Pandora type weapon. These are more practical ones. Thanks.
You know what? I'm going to say. Well, I mean, like, we're pretty sure the motorcycle is Pandora, right?
It's a 50-50. It doesn't quite look like the forms of Pandora that are in 4. But, you know, for one, things get redesigned all the time. And for 2, it seems like a shame to not bring back Pandora or some kind of transforming weapon, because it was such a cool gimmick in 4 and it was just really underutilized. And it's got
666 forms in it. Like,
right,
that's
like,
a
bring
huge...
it back. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to put Pandora Returns.
Okay. Or a Pandora type weapon. We'll maybe hash that one out. Somebody already suggests this is one Dante using or wielding Sparta. Meh. Nero obtaining new Devil Breakers from bosses. Somebody already said that one. Nero versus Virgil one-on-one duel.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's gotta happen,
sure.
Right? Like 100%, that has to happen.
Yeah, Nero and Virgil have to fight. Like, that way we will have the 3-way confrontation between everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Dante's fought Virgil, Dante's fought Nero, and now Nero needs to fight Virgil. We need to complete the trio.
It'll all come back around to each other. This one's a little simplistic. I don't think it goes on the card. New Exceed mechanics to build off of the pre-established Exceed system.
Oh, there's gonna be that.
It's not, like, very bingo cardy, because it'll be a thing that doesn't really happen in the course of the game. It's like, here's some new Exceed stuff, you know? Mm-hmm. Somebody said the Return of Mundus, which we've already put up.
We got that one.
Corrupted Sparta is the main antagonist. This is kind of a reach, but I kind of love it, too. I don't think it's gonna happen, but it would be... I feel like it'd be a good wild card to stick on the bingo. You know?
I'm just gonna put Corrupted Sparta, because I think Mundus will be the villain, but we might fight Sparta. No, you know what?
No.
I want to put Sparta fight.
Sparta fight.
At some point, you will fight Sparta.
Sure.
In some shape or way.
Right. In some way, we'll put Sparta fight, and if it happens, holy shit, I don't think it's gonna happen, but it's one of the... all good bingo cards need a crazy reach.
You gotta put some hopefuls on there.
Space! You know?
Space!
Space! It's space. That's what a Sparta fight is. Dante's motorcycle is some breed of devil arm. That kind of goes back to the Pandora thing. Mm-hmm. I desperately want the motorcycle to be a weapon.
I'm gonna put that. Motorcycle as a weapon.
Okay. Somebody already said this one. Nero gets a true devil trigger. More than 20 missions. That's a rumor that people have been batting around a lot lately, based off of some... It's a 4chan leak, so take it with a whole fistful of salt.
The thing about 4chan leaks is that they're like 50-50.
They are,
like, honestly, because like every so often they'll be like, oh, the new Smash Bros. Will have 3 new characters. It'll have Daisy Ridley and Inkling Girl.
Yeah.
And it'll have every single character in it.
And it'll be called Ultimate. And everyone's
like, fuck off, that's dumb, there's no way.
Oh no, 4chan was right. More than 20 missions, that's what everybody is saying. Everybody's saying 31, like a tutorial mission, and then 10 per playable character. I'm not personally crazy about that idea, but if there's like a bloody palace and a bunch of other stuff, it's fine. If the missions are kind of long, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's bingo card worthy.
Okay.
Virgil needs more power. Big Bad has some relation to Sparta. Wonder if there's like some way we could merge the Sparta and the Mundus thing. Nah. Demon character cries. Somebody always cries in one of these games.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be a demon.
Somebody says V is female. V is not female. I wish V was
sorry.
a chick.
I'm really sorry.
I'm really sorry, because I also, like, really, really want V to be a lady, but it's not happening.
I would like that, but, like, he's very clearly masculine.
It's a dude on the cover. Yeah.
Yeah.
And hey, this is, like, one guy who gave us a ton of some V theory crafting, so holla at your boy. So Nero gets impaled by Yamato.
Ooh.
I know.
Do you want to put that and Dante gets impaled by Rebellion?
That's 2 squares based around somebody getting impaled by a really important sword. Put it on the list. Put it on the list and we might trim it.
Okay.
Nero doesn't get the Devil Bringer back. Already said that one. This is one I love. Dante has a slow motion combat haircut / shave.
Yes!
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 Yes! This is one that has been mentioned a few times on the subreddit, just in, like, comments, and this guy just suggested it for bingo.
It's the best.
I love it.
I want it so bad.
I want to have Dante, like, dodging scythes and just dodging it so closely that his shaving is his beard, and it, like, trims his hair up to be perfect, and when he's done, he's just like, ah!
Yeah!
You know?
Yeah, I want that!
Yeah, I want it so badly. Virgil purifies his corruption. I don't think so. I got a bad feeling about my mans, y'all. I'm just saying. I got a real bad feeling about my favorite character in this game.
If there's any reason we are going to cry playing this game, it's because Virgil's going to die for good.
It's because Virgil is going to die for good. They're going to finally... And Virgil is really the only character you can kill off without necessarily ruining the good time, which is important, like I said.
Yeah.
It would make Dante incredibly sad, and it would make me incredibly sad, but depending on the circumstances of the character death, it would also be like, yeah, that fits, you know?
And the other thing is, like, Dante already has been sad over his brother dying twice.
Yeah, it kind of keeps happening to the poor guy. So really the only reason I don't want Virgil to die, other than, like, my love for this shitbag character, is stop hurting Dante's feelings.
Yeah.
But it's probably going to happen. Either way, I don't think Virgil's going to be purifying his corruption. I think he's going to stay like that whole game. And just be, like, himself by the end of it. But he'll still look kind of fucked up, because it'd be cool. Dante and Virgil team up for the last time, and that's very dramatic, italicized, for the last time.
That's triple jackpot.
That's triple jackpot, yeah. These are the good V, the V theory crafting. V is just a human. We already got that one. I absolutely think V is just a guy.
Yep.
I would love that. V and Nico are after the same thing? Maybe? I actually
possibly.
I have a theory. I'm just going to put that, and maybe we could, like, this can kind of function as the same thing. I think V and Nico are siblings.
Oh yeah, that one for sure.
Yeah.
I'm putting that one for sure. V and Nico are siblings.
I think V and Nico are siblings. If they're not, I will be shocked. But, because siblings are a thing in these games, you know. If family is kind of a thing in these games, it's like, you know, I've got problems with my brother, I've got problems with my dad, I also have problems with my dad, you know.
Here's what I'll put. I'll put V and Nico are siblings, and then I'll also put Nico is more than the item shop.
That one's actually, that one is already confirmed. Itsuno mentioned in the Dengeki PlayStation interview that Nico actually has, like, a plot line.
Oh, okay, okay.
So that one is nah. V will fight Nero or Dante, thinking that they are Virgil or allied with Virgil.
Yeah.
That one's pretty good. I don't know how to condense that one into a small line. Mistaken identity?
V will fight Nero, Dante. Will fight Nero or Dante because of Virgil.
Yeah, that works. V's, this one I do genuinely believe, we just haven't seen it yet. V's powers are tied to his tattoos.
Yeah.
Because they've made a big deal about V's tattoos in the background of the website. Like, the background texture on the website and for the actual trailer that's on YouTube, that like the official trailer that Capcom posted, when you go to click on, like, click here for more stuff at the end of the trailer, the texture that comes across the screen is the same texture as V's tattoos. So V's tattoos are a big deal.
Yep, for sure.
Characters, demon bosses, ? We'll throw old man insults at Dante. This is a thing you and I are, like, really adamant about.
Oh, no, I'm gonna put I'm gonna say what we think it is. Nero will call Dante old man.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I would like to see the bosses also call Dante an old man as well. But more specifically, I want to hear Nero call Dante an old man, finally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
what's that put us at?
We're at, like, 23.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. We need 2 more. What were the ones you were gonna... You said you had ideas, didn't you?
I had a few.
Hit me.
I want to... I want to say that, shit, what's her name? Will come back.
Lucia?
Lucia... No, Patty. Patty will come back.
Patty coming back. Oh, I don't see it, but I would love it. I want her to come back with brown hair.
Yeah.
To go with the fact that Morrison is now not an old white guy.
Yeah.
God, that's hilarious.
I want to say there will be a response reference to Bayonetta or God Hand or Okami.
Yeah, I definitely think at the very least a Bayo or a Kami. Oh, no! A Kamiya reference of some kind.
Yeah, Kamiya character reference.
Yeah, so some kind of reference to like to something Kamiya made. It's like an homage to the fact that Kamiya made DMC1. I definitely think we're going to get some kind of Kamiya reference. I'm trying to think of, like, if I had, like, one really bonkers idea, and I can't think of it anymore. I should have wrote these down, but they always come to me when I'm driving, so I can't write them down, you know, when I'm driving and listening to Devil Trigger.
Let's see. Oh, you know what? I have one.
Oh.
Virgil will only be playable in DLC.
Oh, yeah. Virgil DLC is 100%.
Yep.
Yeah. Virgil DLC is absolutely going to happen. Because Virgil DLC sells, and they're going to need to sell us a special edition, 5 special edition in 2 years.
Yep.
And I will buy it like a fool.
You know what? I have a crazy wild one.
Oh, gimme.
Kyrie's pregnant.
Sure! Crazy wild one. Absolutely. Why not? Let's do it. That's why she isn't around. Oh, that would actually be a really good reason for why she isn't around.
That would explain it really well, wouldn't it?
That would! Oh my god! And that's why Itsuno is like... that actually makes a lot of sense for why Itsuno is like... I can't tell you.
I can't tell you. It's because she's pregnant.
Oh my god! That's a great idea! Yes! That's a really wild one, and it's perfect for the bingo card. That one's going on for sure.
Ooh! Speaking of moms, do you want to say Nero's mom shows up?
Oh. I'm gonna... I'm gonna say no.
No? Okay.
I don't think so. Because if she was important, she would have been established as important at some point in the last 10 years.
You're right. Okay, you know what? That makes me want to change the Patty one.
Okay.
I want to change that to anime/manga character will show up.
Well, then we've already got Morrison.
No, but I mean beyond him. Like another anime or manga character will show up. Or do you want to just keep it Patty?
Let's make it more broad. Let's say anime/manga character. I would love to see, like, an actual, like, in a flashback, I would love to see a version of Nell Goldstein. Like, I would die. I would die because I love her a lot. And so that would be a really cool callback. So we'll say anime/manga character makes an appearance. And that way, if somebody does show up, then we've got our bases covered.
Yeah.
So how many is that now?
Let's see.
like
1, 2,
27.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26.
26.
So we can go for a few more.
Right. I'm trying to think of really bonkers shit. I already said, well, the ones my ideas I've already kind of said while I was clarifying other ideas that people presented. Oh, my one reach idea is that the Devil Bringer is actually a bad thing. And it's why it was like preventing Nero from actually getting like a true devil trigger.
Ooh, so, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know even how to phrase that. Devil Bringer is bad.
You know what? I'll put Devil Bringer is bad, actually.
Yeah, that's good.
Like, in the exact, like,
tone.
hot take tone.
Yeah. That's my hot take. The Devil Bringer is bad, actually. The other insane one, and I'll lose my mind if it comes true, and then I'm gonna go to Japan and burn down Capcom. Virgil doesn't get a new outfit.
Virgil keeps DMC3 outfit.
It's just like fucked up and burned and shit. But it's the same outfit because my mans will never get new digs ever, like ever. It's just like a law at this point. Oh god.
Do you want to put Lucia will come back?
No, because I really don't think Lucia's coming back.
Sorry, Lucia.
I'm so sorry, Lucia. Your design is okay, and your Devil Trigger design is really good, but you're never coming back because you were in DMC too. I'm sorry. It's so sad.
Let's see.
Let me think. I think that's it, because we covered... Do you want to change... I don't know. I want to say to change the manga/anime characters coming back to, like, plot or, like, something referencing the manga and the anime. And I say that because at a few points in, like, the books and in the manga, they mention some kind of demon tree. And I feel like maybe it's just like a gimme.
Okay.
The thing... No.
You know what? I'll put manga anime callback.
Yeah, that works.
So just like some sort of like character or location or something from the anime manga
plot
shows
point
up.
Or something will get called back. That's pretty good.
Let's see. I feel like I had like a few other ones. I
think I'm good in terms of 5 theory crafting because, like I said, a lot of my ideas were stuff I seen on the subreddit, and we just kind of refined them. Like Virgil still being mind controlled is kind of a spin-off of Virgil being corrupted. I definitely think that's the case. I'm probably wrong, but I'm cool with being wrong. I like being wrong in this case.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
I have one. This is more a prediction, but we can make a bingo card out of it.
Sure.
What do you think V will get from defeating bosses?
Oh, that's a good question. Because like I can see Dante will get devil arms from beating bosses, and Nero won't necessarily take his devil breakers from the bosses, but he will, like, Nico will be like, oh, seeing that thing gave me an idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the progression of defeating bosses is what marks when you get a new Devil Breaker.
Right, so what is V's progression tree? Like, what does that progression tree look like? Oh, that's a good question. New tattoos?
Ooh.
That's the first thing that instantly pops to mind is new tattoos. Because if we're already suggesting that V's powers are tattoo-based, then maybe his progression tree is new tattoos with every defeated boss.
That would make sense. Oh! What about, like... This is more theory crafting, actually, but, like, what if V absorbs the style switch from Dante, And it's like, because we're pretty sure V is brawler, right? Like, he's a fist fighter?
No, V, the old leaks are that V, and these leaks were ones that were proven true at E3, so they're a bit more verifiable. V does some kind of summoning bodyguards thing.
Okay.
He doesn't... Itsuno mentioned in the Dengeki PlayStation interview, they made a point to not show V wielding any kind of weapon on the cover. So, I don't know. It sounds like his is more of like a weird magic-based battle system.
Okay.
So, I am still leaning toward tattoos.
Okay, alright, that's fine.
Cool. So that puts us...
They had a few more. Ooh! Ooh!
Oh?
Will V get a real name?
Yes, V is gonna get a real name. I say we definitely put that one in there.
Yeah, V gets a real name. Okay,
Cool.
I think that should be it. So
I think that's good because we have a pretty good balance of like Dante, Nero, Virgil, and V. Bingo squares plus some extraneous stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's go down the list and we'll see which ones we want to keep or which ones we want to change. Or
Will you copy paste it into the Discord window so I can actually look at it on paper?
Sure thing.
Can you can you do that on this screen?
Yup.
Cool.
There you go.
Excellent. Free space is Let's Rock Baby. Dante gets impaled by his own sword. That one stays. We can trim. Dante does a demonstration with Devil Arm, I think, because that's a gimme, you know?
Okay.
V is a human. That's a pretty good one, I think. Moon Just Returns is just like in the range of being not plausible and completely plausible. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a dice toss.
It's a good dice toss, which makes it an excellent thing for the bingo. We finally passed the DMC2 hurdle. Virgil is still a puppet. Nero gets to pull his devil trigger. I love it. Lady and Trish return. Nero uses Yamato. Triple jackpot, which has to stay. Dante will finish his pizza. Pandora returns. Nero versus Virgil. Sparta fight. Motorcycle is a weapon. How many do we have? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. We need to trim 5.
Okay. Alright.
So we've already trimmed 1 with the demonstration with the devil arm. So we need 4 more.
Alright, so, motorcycle's a weapon. Nero gets impaled by Yamato.
Triple jackpot. Dante will finish his pizza. We can maybe trim that one.
Dante will finish his pizza?
Yeah, there's more important things to put in the bingo square, as much as funny as I think it is. So 3 more.
Alright.
Pandora returns, or let's amend Pandora returns to Pandora returns or Pandora-like weapon, or transforming weapon.
Okay.
Just to kind of... Because maybe they didn't... I can see the reason they did not bring Pandora back is because they want to do something with a different aesthetic, but they just want to use the idea of Pandora. So, it'll be some kind of transforming weapon, but it might not be Pandora. So
right, okay. I'll put transforming weapon / Pandora.
Cool. Nero versus Virgil, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Sparta fight, motorcycle is a weapon. God, please let the motorcycle be a weapon. I can't. Oh, Nero gets impaled by Yamato. You think we could take that one off?
Yeah, I think so. It happened in 4 and it has less significance than Dante getting impaled by Rebellion.
Right, it's less funny. It would just be a thing that happens, you know? It'd be like, fuck! But, But hey, if it happens, then dude on the subreddit who called it, you called it, man! Okay? Good for you. Dante has a slow motion haircut shave. Yes!
Yeah, we gotta keep that one.
It has to stay. V and Nico are siblings. V will fight Nero or Dante because of Virgil. V is a tattoo assassin. That's great. Nero will call Dante old man. That one's staying. Manga anime callback. Kamiya character reference. Virgil DLC. Kyrie is pregnant. Devilbringer is bad, actually. Virgil keeps his DMC3 outfit. Please no. V gets tattoos from defeating bosses. Let's take out Virgil keeps DMC3 outfit.
Okay.
And then we just need one more. What you think?
Let's see.
It's hard.
I want to say Lady and Trish return because, like, it's pretty clear they will.
That is a gimme.
There's, like, no reason for them to not show
return.
up.
Right. Yeah.
The rest of them, like, are they like that one is probably like the least ambiguous or like most likely out of the ones we have here.
Yeah, it's like the least ambitious one. It's just kind of like a thing, like, you know, like, okay, yeah, Dante gets impaled by his own sword. That one's like a running fandom joke. And so if it doesn't happen, then, like, it'll be really funny. Like, honestly, I would love to get that one wrong. If somebody like hurls like rebellion at Dante and he like dodges at the last second, and he's like, nope, not having that anymore. You know,
he's finally learned. He's like 55 years old and he finally figured out how to dodge. Well, you know what? That's actually kind of one thing I wanted to like talk about because I've been playing Bayo, right?
Right.
And I realized like the difference between Bayo and Dante is that Bayo knows how to dodge and Dante doesn't care.
Dante doesn't give a shit.
Because he regenerates.
He gets over it. He has cutscene regeneration where nothing can kill him. We've been over this. Yeah, Dante doesn't give a shit about dodging. So, yeah. Lady
I think, so are we good with that? So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. We're good.
Cool. That's it. That's our bingo card. I'll make this tonight, and when this episode goes up, it will be accompanied by the bingo card.
Yeah, and then that'll be really cool. Actually, you know what? I'll probably make the bingo card the title card, and then we'll also put a link to it.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah.
And then, so is there any other, like, predictions that are a bit too complex for the bingo card you have, or, like, hopes and dreams?
Hopes and dreams is that Virgil survives and everything is fine, but that's not what's gonna happen. Otherwise, I really want Lady to come back and actually look like a badass old lady. You know?
That would be pretty cool. I
want Lady to come, because Lady is the same age as Dante. She's, like, at this point, she should be in her 50s. And, like, in DMC4, she still looks like she is the same age as Dante. And Dante is, like, 38 in DMC4, which means that she is, like, 38 in DMC4. And she does not look 38.
She looks 20.
She looks about 20, 21. So I want Lady to come back and for her to actually look cool and, like, have white streaks in her hair and maybe some kind of new scar. That would be the coolest thing in the universe. Please make it happen. Bring back my waifu looking even more badass than ever. Thanks. I would like Kyrie to get to actually do something. In some capacity.
What I want, I don't want her to, like, kick ass at all.
No, I want her to stay totally normal.
Yeah, I want her to... I mentioned this to you. I want her to have narrative immortality.
Yeah.
I want everything bad to happen around her and never to her. Like... yeah.
Like, things just fly at her, and then at the last minute just careen off to the side.
Yeah. Like a demon throws a car at her and the car like lands early and it bounces over her head. She gets thrown into it like a building falls on her, but like the support beams like collapse in a way that it forms like a perfect like triangle above her to keep anything from falling on her head.
Yeah. Oh my god, hilarious. Absolutely.
Like I want a scene where, like, Dante gets fucking baseball chucked into, like, a piece of rebar that's, like, 3 feet away from Kyrie.
Yeah. Oh, man. Absolutely. Oh, my God. Please. That would be, like, prime Devil May Cry, like, comedy. That's perfect.
And she's just there, and she's happy to be there and helping.
She's having a good time, and she's trying to help, man. You know?
She's not gonna fight, but she brought bottled water and orange slices if anyone wants them.
And just like that, she's more effective than Virgil. Oh, God. Yeah, I love that idea. God, I want it to be like 50 missions long.
Yeah, I want
I want it to be super long.
I want it to
never end.
I want it to be like split up between 3 protagonists, so that means I want 60 missions.
Yeah, exactly. Every single one of them should have their own campaign.
Yeah.
And it should be just absurdly long. I would be okay if every 10 missions per feels like not enough, but it was like if it was 15 missions per.
If it was 15 missions per, I would be okay with that. That's a lot of substance. That's
pretty good. It's not like the full 20 per, but you've got enough time to get used to each. I really want a boss fight that plays out like Nier Automata's. Not the final boss fight, but the Koshi and Roshi, if that's what they're called.
The one where you are going between between the two characters. Yeah. I want
a boss fight where in the middle of the fight you swap from Nero to Dante and from Dante to V and then back to Nero. That would be incredibly radical. Yeah.
My like swing for the fences biggest shot ever is that V is Jean.
V is Jean. Yeah.
Like
surprise! It's a Godhand sequel too.
In my deepest, darkest wishes, like hope beyond hope.
Jean. Yeah.
I want V to be Jean.
V is not Jean, and I'm sorry.
I know he's not,
but he should be.
And then deeper than that.
Oh boy.
Is Jacques from Onimusha 3.
Oh, I want Jacques from Onimusha 3 to make a cameo. Like, even if it's just him on screen looking real annoyed by all these demons when he's trying to take a vacation, you know? What it is there's a shot of Redgrave City before the demon tree thing rises, and, it's like a shot of a cafe, and there's John Reno just sipping on a coffee, and then suddenly everything goes to shit, and it's just this long take of his face just looking so tired. And that's it. And everybody who's never played Onimusha 3 is like, who the hell is that? Why is Leon the professional in this game?
However you say it in French, everybody just goes, not this shit again. And it's not subtitles, it's just him saying that in French, and then that's it.
Yeah. No explanation, no subtitles. It's just you just hear him saying merde. Yeah. God, amazing.
That's like my ultimate like
Please. Surprise, Devil May Cry 5 is actually a prequel to the next Onimusha game.
Yeah. Just like the most impossible pitch ever, but that's what I want. It's what I want. I want Jean or Jacques to show up.
And just and be like, hey, I want there to be, so like in Devil May Cry 4, right? There are posters for Beowulf, like the monster, in Fortuna. You can actually just kind of see them. It's kind of like a neat little Easter egg. I would love movie posters in Redgrave City for God Hand 2.
Yeah!
That would be awesome, right? Or God Hand the movie?
Yeah!
Oh my god! That would be amazing. Yeah, God Hand the movie posters just all over Redgrave City would be great. Also, I don't want them to define the tech level. If there's a cell phone in this game, then this game is like 0 out of 10.
I want it to be a flip phone, because even then you're like, well, maybe.
Maybe, yeah, the Japanese love them a flip phone. Yeah, that's good too. If there is a cell phone, I want it to be, like, impossible to tell what year it is. And I don't want Dante to know how to use one. Because he's just an old grandpa now. He's just a grandpa fighting demons at this point, man.
Ooh, I don't know if I want to add this to the bingo card or not.
Oh no, we can't trim anymore. What is it?
I know, but I want to say, like, Dante complains about his back.
Oh, God, that's so good. Oh, I wish that we could fold that into Nero will call Dante old man.
You know,
how about just old man jokes about Dante?
Yeah, I'll put old man Dante.
Yeah,
I'll
there we
it to
go.
Old man Dante.
So that way we can have Dante complaining about his back or like the team. Because like Nero, I want Nero to call him old man. But I will accept and be pleased if, like, a demon boss, like the comment said, if, like, a demon boss is like, you're just an old man now, you know? I'll take that.
Like, the great demon hunter Dante
is an old man.
A decrepit old man.
Yeah. Then Ruben Langdon's got some, like, shitty, like, comeback about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Absolutely.
And even better is if Dante is insincere in his back pain complaints.
Oh,
If he's like, no, Nero, you go do it. My back hurts.
If he pulls a fucking Jade Curtis.
If he pulled a Jade Curtis where he's like as young and as spry as he's ever been, and he's still like, oh, but my back hurts, and Nero's just like, you shitty old man. You know? I want that really badly. Oh man, I want so much out of Devil May Cry 5. I just want it. I want Gamescom to hurry up and get here.
I want Dante to do like some crazy cool acrobatic thing, like land perfectly, and then 5 seconds later he's like, oh god!
Yes!
Oh.
That would be amazing! Oh my god, that would be incredible. And this is one that there's nowhere to stick it on the board because I like our bingo card. Perfect Devil Trigger. I would love to see the Perfect Devil Trigger.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be really, really cool.
It would be very, very cool. Either Dante or Nero gets the Perfect Devil Trigger. But that's not really, like, board-worthy because I think the other ones we've got are more, like a good mix of, like, crazy shit that isn't gonna happen and, like, really reliable shit that will happen. You know?
Yeah.
And so I don't think the Perfect Devil Trigger has a place on the board, unfortunately.
Our board is like things we hope for and things we will mark out for when we actually do get to see them. Like, we know what's going to happen, but it'll be great when we do.
Okay. And then I get a feeling Gamescom is going to happen, and we're going to be like, hey, look, a few things are already on the bingo card.
Yeah, we're going to get, like a trailer to be like, oh, that's that.
You know, maybe V will get a trailer at game. I got a feeling the Gamescom trailer is going to be more so about Dante and V, since they've kind of, like, established them, and we're not going to go into DMC 5 not knowing anything about V. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. It's not, V's not going to be, like, a surprise that, like, when you pop the game, and it'll be like, here's the V trailer!
Yeah, and so I got a feeling the Gamescom trailer is going to be half V, half Dante. Because
I feel that.
Because Nero is still, like, the main character. Like,
Nero's the protagonist now. Like, let's be real.
He is the protagonist. Yeah, for sure. Like, this is aggressively his story now.
Yeah.
And so even, like, Nero, Jesus, the other one, Dante and V's stories will still revolve around, like, Nero's motivations. Like, it'll have to do with the Devilbringer and Virgil and the big demon monster thing we saw at the beginning of the trailer. And so, like, it's all going to kind of revolve around stuff that Nero is doing. Mm-hmm. And so, because of that, I got a feeling, like, Dante and V will share a trailer, like, a showcase trailer, being like, this is what they look like! And Nero has his own trailer from E3 because he's the protagonist now. Yeah.
Yeah, right, for sure.
So, Gamescom is 2 weeks away, so hey, we might be able to mark a few things off this board already. We'll see.
Yeah, we will, actually, so our plan is, we're going to do our Indie Week next weekend.
Yes.
Because we are going to do a mini mini E3 episode for Gamescom because, like, it's actually showing stuff we're really interested in this time.
Yeah, we'll also get some, probably, plus it means, because Benjamin is getting married soon. He is betrothed.
Yep.
And so, it gives us some time to not play a video game in the middle of, like, Ben is busy.
Like, September will probably only be 2 episodes. For the month, because that's when I'm getting married, and that's, like, a thing I have to, like, work on, and...
It's kind of, like, a really important obligation, turns out.
Yeah, so we'll probably do, like, a really simple episode, and then, like, a really simple indie week, too, and then back to normal for October and the rest of eternity.
Right. For as long as people keep listening, we will talk really, really for 2.5 hours, probably longer, about Devil May Cry 5 when it finally gets here in March. So,
Devil May Cry. I just thought of that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you fucking did. I can tell you just thought of it. Oh, it sucks. Hey, actually, surprise! The podcast is canceled. Hey, this is the last episode ever, so don't bother me.
How many times have you threatened to quit the podcast because of something that I have said to you?
Many times. I have also routinely threatened to quit Big Gay Nerds because of how lame all of them are as well. So, this is just par for the course, really. One day I'm gonna do it. Bam, zoom, straight to the moon. Okay?
You're gonna drop out.
One of these days, Benjamin, I'm just gonna leave the call, and you're just gonna have to finish talking by yourself. Well, I guess this is just a podcast featuring me now. I'm gonna talk about Kingdom Hearts every single episode for the next 2 years. Okay.
Alright, well... Speaking of Big Gay Nerds, that's a podcast that you do.
Oh, look at that.
You can go ahead and talk about that right now.
Hey, that's cool. Hey, I'm in another podcast right now. It's called It's called Big Gay Nerds. It's an LGBT live play tabletop RPG podcast where me and a bunch of cool queer friends get together and we play tabletop games together. Right now, we are doing Monster Hearts, but next episode is maybe the season finale.
Ooh.
So shit's about to go crazy, and then we won't be playing Monster Hearts for a very long time. So this is actually an excellent time for you to come check us out and listen to our entire Monster Hearts block and get ready for this party to get crazy. Yeah. We're at Big Gay Nerds on SoundCloud, and you can find the links to all of our social media from there. Thank you.
And thank you. And then, so we also have our Twitter account at The Gorge Podcast. We have our email account, thegorgepodcast@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. Thanks to Visager for use of background music. And that's it, right? That's it?
That's it. We got nothing else to say.
We're not nothing else.
We're not going to do the wrong. Fuck Virgil's fedora.
Fuck Virgil's fedora. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Psych.